Bell-Boeing V-22 Osprey is a combat and transport aircraft that uses tilt-rotor technology to combine the vertical performance of a helicopter with the speed and range of a fixed-wing turboprop aircraft. We'll discuss the technical features of the variant CMV-22B in this video. When the aircraft is airborne, the engine nacelles can be rotated, which helps in the transformation of the V-22 into a turboprop fixed-wing aircraft capable of high speed and high altitude flight. This characteristic allows the Osprey to fill an operational niche. Stay till the end of the video because we're telling you how the CMV-22B is better than the C2 Greyhound. Variants. The Osprey was developed in 3 variants. The CV-22 was produced to manage the missions of the U.S. Special Operations Command, SOCOM. The second variant, the MV-22, was designed to support the vertical assault needs of the U.S. Marine Corps, USMC, the strike rescue needs of the U.S. Navy, and Long-Range Special Operations Force, SOF. The third and most specialized variant, CMV-22B, was built to replace the Navy's C-2A Greyhound Carrier Onboard Delivery (COD) aircraft and was utilized for the transportation of personnel and cargo from shore to aircraft carriers. If we compare the CMV-22B with the MV-22, it has increased operational range, exceptional line of sight HF radio, extraordinary fuel dump capability, a public address system for passengers, and an enhanced lighting system for loading of cargo. Test aircraft. The tests were considered a success, and the 2 tilt-rotor XB-15s were produced for test purposes, which formed the basis for the amazing V-22 Osprey. The program for making another generation tilt-rotor was first called JVX as an actual plane, and the nickname Osprey was used just for a brief time. After its creation, full-scale production started in 1986, when the Bell-Boeing was awarded a $1.7 billion contract to assemble the V-22. And by then, the U.S. military had made arrangements to buy the most recent tilt motor. However, the improvement of the project was extensive as well as dubious because of the inflated expense. The $1.7 billion financial plan increased to $2.5 billion and afterwards to a massive sum of $30 billion in 1988. Have you ever wondered about the amount of money spent for production of the V-22? In 2007, around $27 billion was spent, and another $27.2 billion was required for the production of the decided numbers of V-22s. The project didn't freeze and was improved. Therefore, by 2009, the normal expense of a flight hour had reduced by a factor of 20%, or $9,520 to be precise. Moreover, in 2017, it was reduced further to around $11,500. These numbers were even more satisfying than the Sikorsky CH-53E, whose flight hours cost citizens around $20,000. On the other hand, a single flight hour with the V-22 still costs twice the cost of a Black Hawk, which is around $6,070. Bell has made over a dozen unique alterations to the Osprey. Modifications of the CMV-22B. The most improved is the CMV-22B cargo version of the tilt-rotor, which was developed to replace the carrier-based transport aircraft, the C2 Greyhound. The basic reason behind the new alteration of the CMV-22B is the carrier onboard delivery (COD), and the cargo can weigh as much as 6,000 pounds, and 23 passengers could board the aircraft along with 4 group members. The United States military acknowledges the conservative nature of the Osprey. The enlarged fuel tanks can contain fuel enough for the tilt-rotor to fly over distances of up to 1,323 miles. However, the massive fuel supply required adjustments to the wings so that they can endure the increased load. The increased in-flight range of the CMV-22B was equipped with a new radio framework and an updated warning system. The question is, will these improvements to the Osprey be sufficient enough to completely replace the C2 Greyhound? The Osprey has been in service for around 31 years, and since then, the number of converter planes launched from the assembly line was 400 units in 2020 alone. Moreover, the production base is just accelerating as indicated by the team that is answerable for the improvement of the new changes to the CMV-22B. The aircraft is used for transportation of strategic cargo, celebrity staff, humanitarian aid missions, delivery of food, spare parts, hardware for sailors, and transportation of the injured. The tilt-rotor has a reconfigurable cargo compartment that can oblige up to 12 stretchers. If you've reached this far in the video, we would like to thank you. Be sure to subscribe to enjoy more content like this. The Osprey seems to be more efficient than the C-2 Greyhound aircraft if we talk about hectic military missions as well as general loading and unloading of cargo loads. The increased rates of transporting equipment and weapons at night increases the combat survivability of transport aircraft. Transporting to aircraft carriers because aircrafts working at night focus on expected hostiles as they can be targeted. Another efficient aspect of the MV-22 Osprey is that the misfortunes related to this aircraft have been much lower compared with different U.S. combat aircraft and the C-2 Greyhound. The issues experienced in earlier versions of the Osprey were resolved, and the safety records of the CMV-22B are considered astounding. When the Bell-Boeing CMV-22B Osprey came into service, the tilt-rotor was cutting edge and opened the eyes of many pilots. They understood that the Osprey would profoundly change the course of battle. The Air Force Civil Engineer Center, Kelly, specifically mentioned the significance of comfort in flight, contrasting the CMV-22B with the C-130 Hercules class, since the tilt-rotor flies at a comparable speed but without the average vibration in a conventional helicopter. As far as the production and development of the CMV-22B are concerned, the overall expense of a single aircraft is around $110 million, and only time will decide whether or not the expensive CMV-22B will become the logistical revolution that the Navy is expecting it to be. What are your thoughts about the MV-22B? Will Osprey outperform the C-2 Greyhound? Be sure to watch our other video, U.S. Air Force testing massive next-gen B-1B Lancer with hypersonic.